and welcome to the collective today.
Hello, sister.
My sweet friend Felipe Abras here in Brazil. And what city are you in?
I am in Belo Horizonte, the state of Minas Gerais.
Wow, that's a mouthful. I have no idea where it
Yeah.
is. Sounds beautiful.
It's in the southeast. The name is actually the beautiful horizon in English.
Sound beautiful. Well, I am so honored and pleased to have you on the show today.
So am I.
I have, I'll just let people know I found you one day on Instagram. I just saw you dancing and being really in your element and sharing your gift of light codes through dance. And I was mesmerized by you. Not only are you amazingly beautiful in your human form, but your soul and your spirit shows through that too.
Mhm.
And so since then, I've just hopped on your train and been a fan and followed your work and read everything. And I love how you just openly share what you're going through. And I feel like it helps also everybody else who's afraid to put their feelings into words. But I feel like you have a collective, like you're channeling for the collective a lot. And so I see that through you. I don't know if you see that through you. It seems in your messages and the way you speak, you do too. But um, that is why I really wanted the world in our galactive world to share your world too.
Uh, Beautiful. It's interesting when you say that. Like I tap into the collective when I'm sharing, because I actually didn't know that. Like when I started doing all these things, it was just me creating art and sharing myself. And then, like when people like you started coming to me, and like I started like linking everything, and then I realized, oh, I'm doing a collective work here, and I didn't even know. And
Even
then
better,
these people,
right?
yeah, yeah. And it was funny because some time ago I was like fighting with myself because you're not doing anything for the collective. Oh, come on, you're too selfish. And I was just blaming myself. And then I said, oh, fuck it. I'm just gonna do what I can do now. And when I know what to do with the collective, I will simply help as I can. But I didn't know how to do it. But then at some point I realized, oh, I was already doing.
Doing what you needed to do and are doing still. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I think that's where some of the best and most humble, I guess we could call ourselves healers, come from. Is just trying to figure out what the hell this experience is, what is going on, what is this energy, why do I feel so intensely, and helping others decipher that through figuring out ourselves, I feel.
Yeah. I have like a thing with with the word healer, but I'm kind of boring sometimes. I push myself too much into the limits. And like, am I a healer? Am I not a healer? I don't think like we are like,
Totally a healer. I kind of think we're everything, right? But
yes,
when we're sharing deeper parts of ourselves that are healing, I feel like that energy is called a healer energy. Does that make sense?
yeah. Yes, it makes sense, of course. But it's just that for me, when we say heal, we are implying that there's a disease or
Mhm.
something. But for me, it's just an imbalance. It's just not properly balanced. The elements in the body are not balanced. So there's a way for the body to show it, for the emotions to show it, for the mental activity to show it. But it's just balancing. It's
True.
but healing is a way of saying balancing. So
True.
all is fine. I'm just like put too much pressure on me to
Well,
be specific.
because to think, because it's like the opposite. It's like to think to heal, just like you said, then you have to think, well, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah. That's the
And
point.
that can also create more of a problem than you already have.
Yes,
I
yes.
totally agree with you on that aspect. Yes. So it's very important to be careful with our words and to know, yeah, it is. There is some things we can heal, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're broken. and
Yes.
it is
Yes.
creating whatever that symbiotic, uh, I would call it like a frequency, like a symbiotic frequency. Find the symbiotic frequency for whatever's going on, to be very general, and not place it into like a negative or positive, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just flow through the duality, through flow through everything that comes through. And then when we flow, we were actually balancing, and then healing comes through, right?
Right. So I think my next question is, when did you decide that healing through your dance movements, and like how did you how did you see it as light codes? Was it like seeing the codes as you're dancing, or how does it express itself through you?
Well, I didn't know it was Lycos.
Another one.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a dancer since like not a professional dancer. Like I'm just like saying I'm a dancer because I dance my whole life and actually like a party dancer. I go to parties and dance. And at some point I couldn't go to parties anymore because I was a drug addict and I had to stop drugs. Because I was like going completely nuts, and then I just started like, okay, you're not going out because you cannot go out and don't use drugs. So you're going to have to stay home for a little while till you can balance that and start going to the parties again. And then I stayed like dancing at home for like 3 years alone and dancing and love because I simply had this urge to dance.
Mm.
And that was when it all started. But I didn't know it was like codes and all. I was just dancing and having fun and having static bliss, and like just the thing. I was just being me and dancing and having fun. That's what I could do. Like I had to work the whole day and then get home. What am I gonna do? It's boring. I didn't like watching TV or anything, so I'm gonna dance. So I danced, and then at some point when I started posting it, the people came to me, "Oh, you're downloading like codes and blah blah blah." I know. So, oh, am I?
Oh yeah.
And then like I started putting the links together and I said, okay, these people may be right. And then I started embracing that as like something in more uh, 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 in a more maybe say serious way, but and looking at it in a very gentle and at the same time important way for me because I realized that every time I used to dance, my frequency completely changed. Everything changed. If I was having like an anxiety, because I used to have like panic attacks and then blah blah blah. If I was having that kind of thing, I danced, and then after all, I was like,
Mm.
I was feeling awesome. Then I realized, okay, there's something going out and something going in, and that was when I started expressing to people and telling people how I was feeling. And then I realized that, like, oh, how I'm feeling is like many people are feeling, and actually, this is like I am tapping into the collective through my own process. I guess that's how we do, right? Like
Mhm.
everyone is actually doing collective work as we do like our own inner work. So everyone is kind of doing it, right?
And then by seeing you and you sharing yourself, they feel, I think people feel more comfortable and confident in doing it themselves, and like also seeing it as a way to relieve some kind of distress or anxieties. And I love dance. It's one of my favorite ways of moving energy. I absolutely need to dance more in my life. I need to take your
Yeah, 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 yeah.
because this I wasn't really doing drugs as I just was going out and dancing, but then I was getting so drained by everybody's energy
Uh
almost.
huh.
Like pull back and learn how to like channel for myself for a little while and not like try and heal everybody or not even know how the hell I was doing it, or I don't even know,
Uh
I just kind of figure it out as we go, right? Like, oh,
huh.
why? Because okay, some kind of frequency. It's all frequency, moving frequency and channeling it through our bodies. It's super beautiful. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah, yeah.
So my other question for you is, so as I was watching you dance, then I started seeing you add your light codes. For instance, what we see behind you, that's one of your pieces of art that I recognize. Um, how did that begin for you? And how does that come through. It's like one of the most beautiful things when I see it. I've never seen anything really like it, and especially the like coding language that you draw.
Well, it also started out of nowhere because when I started, I didn't know what light code was, and I wasn't even interested in any of this spiritual thing. Let's say I was just I already used to doing the work, but in a very corporeal or like a body work because I used to do yoga and massage and psychoanalysis. It was all very earthy. You see, it was all very earthy, and I wasn't like, oh, I want to start channeling. That was like I I wasn't interested in that.
Yeah.
Actually, I still don't know exactly what channeling is. For me, it's just expression, creativity. Because like it's not like I have to connect to an entity or to a being to like I don't know what that is. I'm just like creating art. People
Right.
say I'm channeling. Oh, am I? Okay, I'm just creating, and it's okay if they want to say it's okay too. But it started because I actually wanted to be a writer. I want to write a book, but I didn't know how I could do that because I couldn't express myself or read anything that I wrote and find it cool. But then I simply, okay, whatever, it doesn't have to be for anyone. Then I started writing, and then poetry came through because I couldn't linearize everything that I was feeling or what I wanted to say to the world with like sentences that would come A, B, C, and then we have a result. I couldn't do that. So through poetry, I could express myself. And then through poetry, I started healing. Like I started balancing the field, and I think, I'm not sure, I was already expressing light codes when I wrote that book. It's a poetry book in Portuguese, actually.
Nice.
And at some point, I was like for a year or so feeling this urge to draw, but I never drew before, so I was like, "What the fuck are you going to draw, Philip? You don't know how to do it." Like, so I didn't start, and I never started. So at some point, I was like writing some poetry, and sometimes when I'm writing poetry, I'm just like, and then I stopped, and then I stop again. But in one of these stops, I simply started drawing like some patterns on the paper. Simply started drawing and drawing, and then this pattern comes through. How? Well, let me see. Can you see this? No, no, no. Wait. This came through.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see
yeah, we
because of
can.
the. Okay. Yes. This was the first drawing that I ever made. And I was like, what is this? I had no idea. But then after I tattooed it, after I made this tattoo, I realized that this is like me and Earth connected energetically. And
Mm.
that is why it's written here the planet is you. And then it all started there. And I had like this throat jump. So like it started like it used to be jumping all the time, really physically jumping, like, "Vroom, vroom, vroom, vroom." And I used to think that I was gonna have cancer or I don't know something. Yeah, and I didn't know what to do to solve that. But okay, I was dealing with that, and that was bringing me anxiety. But when I started drawing, I noticed that at every draw that I made, it released
Wow.
and there was no movement here, and I was like, oh, I'm feeling so peaceful. That's awesome. And then like for a year or so, I used to draw like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 drawings a day. So I have like 2,000 drawings here in my house that
Nice.
there are many. And I simply never stopped doing because it really helps me to ground, especially because I'm like I'm always this kind of person like oh fuzzy, but then they creating helps me to be here now. But then I realized that there are many ways to do that, and now I'm very much grounded, even though I can be airy when I want.
Well, that's a good quality. Yeah, it's fun to fly around sometimes.
But yeah, why not, right?
uh, that's a beautiful story. Um, So what is it that like so for instance, the one behind you, what does it represent? Does it come out in something or like is it just a feeling that you have like what that feeling behind your throat maybe or something and you're like, "Well, I got to draw this feeling," or is it just completely
Well, okay, I'm the kind of person who never. I'm. How can I say that without being too arrogant? Like,
be
because
exactly as you want to be?
because all the spiritual things, spiritual work that we
Right.
see, that we learn, that a lot. I've never connected much to those, to any kind of healings. Even though I made a lot of courses, I couldn't practice them because I didn't feel connected to them. So when people say you need to have an intention to make something, I'm like, okay, who is me? Like Felipe, me? I don't even know what I want to have for dinner. How am I going to put an intention here? If How will I know how this is going to be the right thing to do right now? And I never knew. Of
Mm,
course, nowadays I know better. But like, I used to think, okay, whatever comes, comes, and it will be for our greatest good. And this is always the intention. But after many years doing it, I realized that I can like connect to it and get the information of what is going to be worked through this energy. I can even create something for a particular thing. But when people tell me that, I don't do it. Like
right.
if they ask me, do something for this, do something for that. No, I'm not gonna do that. But I don't even know if you know what you're asking. Like let's have a session first and then we decide what we're gonna do. You know?
I think I had one of those experiences with you. Yeah. "You wanna help me with this?" You're like, "No, that's not what I'm doing." "Oh, okay, cool. I'm glad. Thanks for being honest," you know? Like, that's not what it okay, awesome. Well, you made me think about it too, so I liked it. I like when people challenge me for God's sakes. It's so annoying to just people be like, blindly follow your shit, you know? You're like, "Come on, do you have any
Yeah.
questions or, like, objections here?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And okay, for this one specifically, I just feel the urge to draw. Every day I feel like drawing something. So I simply sit and draw, and then I feel it while I'm drawing, after I'm drawing. I feel how it works. And I don't think energy should be something that we close into definitions because the potentials are multiple. It's
Mhm.
infinite potentials. When we simply define it as something, we are limiting the way that this energy should go. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Do I want to do it? Not always. I don't think I should do it always. And I think many people are doing this. It's okay, it's their way of working. But I don't want to limit my potential, you know. I don't
Mhm.
want to limit anyone's potential. So, for example, this one was for the meditation we had on Sunday. So I left it on the background, and this was working with our lower chakra.
Mm.
And it was really connected into the earth and releasing like from solar plexus, sacrum, root. It was just releasing everything that like it was at that moment ready to be released. And we talked to our bodies and we asked what needed to be released, not giving direction, but allowing the energy to give the direction without the mind control. You know, that's how I like working normally. And so we did, you know. So I guess that's it. I think I answered, did I?
You answered wonderfully. Yeah. Yeah, this weekend
Yeah.
was an intense weekend. I was in Moab and we were in and so it's all red rocks and it's like right to the root chakra. And
Oh, beautiful.
both of me and my boyfriend had some really intense like root chakra experiences, like super bad stomach pains, purging, like getting rid of so much stuff no matter what. Like there was no enjoying the vacation, you know. It was still like relaxing, but there was something about the earth that was like get rid of it. We don't care
Yeah.
what it is. You don't have to call it anything. Get rid of it, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, we're having this like romantic time, and then he's over there puking his guts out on these like giant rocks. You know, we're like, cool. And but it was still like so safe and so grounding and so good. And like, even there was just something about this weekend that was more intense than anywhere. And we were miles away from any human still feeling that, so I couldn't imagine of being in the city. And I bet that meditation was powerful. I can't wait to go back and watch it.
Oh yeah, it was for me. It was like really intense. For people, experiences was what they told for them too. Actually, after the meditation, I was like, I turned on the YouTube and started watching old, really old things that I used to listen to, old music, old video clips, and I was like, okay, I'm purging. And it was awesome because I was purging, feeling the sadness at the same time. I was like super happy because the energy was super high, but I was going really low at the same time. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is interesting.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And I called my mom this morning. She's like, "How was your trip?" I was like, "Oh, good. What you doing?" "Oh, just hard that I'm going through." People that don't know are doing it. You know what I mean? It's like so
Yeah.
fascinating to watch people and how we all are kind of doing the same thing at the same time, but think we're like in our own little world. We're not. We're
Yeah,
super
yeah.
connected.
Super connected, and
Yeah.
everyone is doing its own way, right? Like you have your own way, I have my own, and everyone has its own way. It's beautiful, I bet. And Earth is normally the best medicine, right?
Yeah, exactly. It is. That's my biggest message to people always. Like, get out to the earth, connect to the earth. It has all the solutions, all of everything. It's part of you. It will heal anything that you want. Just
Yes,
connect
yes.
and appreciate and love it.
Yes, that's what I always tell people. After each session, I always tell people, okay, if you have some grass, at least some grass, that go step on that grass. Like, yes, please ground yourself, do that, talk to Earth, and she will help you. And she's always helping us. And this connection is really important. Actually, I have a tendency to think that we don't even need to keep astral traveling or anything. Like it's more important to be on earth and connecting to ourselves and to this now than actually being like traveling. Oh, let's go to another planet. Oh, let's talk to an alien here. Let's talk to yeah, we can do that. Yes, can we do that? We can do that. It's easy. It's
Mhm.
actually easy. It's hard to be on earth.
Yeah, probably what we've been doing. We're like, get me the fuck out of this place. I don't know what's going on, but you know,
Oh yeah,
when you're
yeah.
out there out in the middle of nowhere or wherever, and there's no people around, there's nothing wrong. There's no problems. It's really interesting how peaceful the planet is.
Yes, it is indeed.
It's like, just go sit on her for like a little bit. You'll be cool.
Yeah, it
Cool.
it, it it seems to me that like we have this center that it's like here on this body connected to all the bodies that we have, but the body, the physical body, is like the what can be connected to the zero point field deeper because that's where we are in the presence and all the variants of the energy and all the holograms that could be all the multiverse and all the lives that we have and all the experiences that we have all around existence can be like dismantled when you tune in here. So you be, it's like a big balloon like full of experiences and information and blah 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 blah, blah. And then you take them out. Okay, come you all here.
Yeah.
And then you bring them to your heart and then to your body and say, oh, it wasn't so hard, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. Yeah, that connects me to last year when you were in Egypt. And when the virus came, I remember you got stuck there. And I could only imagine how it would be. I feel like that's like the motherland, like the home motherland, mother lode of lots of downloads and lots of information and the pyramids and the hidden secrets and the hidden mysteries. And through all of that chaos, were you, I mean, from your videos, it looked like you were just so connected to the earth and so connected to that space and that energy. what do you feel like when you look back at that time? Do you feel like you were there for a specific reason? Do you feel like it fueled you into this? Because it seems like since then you have just dove like fully into this journey as I've watched. And not that you
Yeah,
weren't all the
big
way, but
time.
like even more, you know? So I wonder what occurred for you there and if there's anything you could share with people about Egypt and about that magical place.
Okay. How do I
You're
say
like a
that? That's so
modern
many.
day, modern day Egypt guy with your codes and your stuff and like all the things that you hate, you're like,
Okay. Let's say that it was like the most incredible and at the same time the hottest times that I spent on a trip. But it was incredible after all, and it was really, really good. And my life indeed changed after all. But let's say that was kind of one main point where distortion of the energy started. It started before, but that was when it was established, right? And it was that in Greece, then Rome, and blah blah blah. It was, and we had to pass through Rome before to go to Egypt. It was really interesting. But what happened, like at each temple that I went to, it's like an intergalactic familiar constellation happened, and like I had to feel, I had to flow, I had to cry, and it was intense. And then I was like feeling awesome after all. But normally I woke up and I was like looking like shit. No one, please don't talk to me. Like it was a group and a group of people, and they were talking all the time, and I was like, okay, please don't talk. Like, I don't know what I'm feeling, but it's not about you, but please don't talk to me. And I love everyone who was with me. But then after we went to the temple and all the things happened, I was feeling awesome again. But then the next day, it started all again. But for me, it happened like while everyone was worshipping Egyptian gods, I was dismantling inside myself all the distortions I created in those timelines. I
mm,
say I because then I can say for everyone because
mhm,
that's how it goes for me. And there were a lot of distortions, you know, there, and all this worshipping. It's like taking our solar plexus and donating to one focal point, and like keeping not having your own opinions and decisions into a god or into something or to an entity or to a society or to a king, to a pharaoh or anything.
mm,
So it was for me like bringing the energy back to my body and spreading the codes to earth.
mm,
Like, okay, everyone can do it. You don't have to keep your power projected onto anything, onto anyone, onto any entity, onto anything at all. You are fucking God. You are a whole being that doesn't actually need anything to be whole because your body has everything already,
mm,
right? And Egypt was all about this for me, getting back my power to be a sovereign being.
mm,
You see? And since then, I've been working on spreading the codes to everyone. You see? Like, and it is still happening. Like every session I have with someone, like we tap into a past timeline, not a past timeline, it's just a timeline. Like we tap into the Egyptian timeline, and okay, get this back to you. Okay, take this back to you. Get this back to you. You
mhm,
know, and this is going on forever since then, and it's beautiful. So to resume it all, it's for me it was bringing back to sovereignty, bringing me back, and bringing the world back to sovereignty. You see, like
mm,
diverting, how to say, like inverting the reversion that the energy was going.
exactly. Yeah. I feel that I've never been there. It's like a huge dream of mine to go there, but
Oh,
not
you should go.
because I want to worship the gods, but
Uh
because
huh.
I feel like there's so much, like you said, disillusionment about it, that I want to see the
Yes.
truth myself and feel the truth, because have these minds of, this is like, it's all just a picture, like they paint for us now on TV. Like it's just a picture. They're just showing you stuff. Like maybe they were blue. Maybe they're not telling you a story. Maybe that's how they created. Maybe that's a map. Who the fuck knows? How can you say you know this? Like, well,
Yes.
yes, you know this.
The truth is we never know.
Yeah. Like, we're not gonna know. You can say whatever you want, but I want to figure it out for myself. So
Yes, yes, yes.
that's such a beautiful message. I love that, coming back to the sovereign being and then bringing that out to share if anybody else has that desire. It's almost like those light codes that you create brings them to you, you know? It seems to be
Yeah.
that way, like you put it out there and then it comes in. So you have taken like a whole other kind of corporate life and then changed into this way of living for yourself and for helping others. And how's that going for you? You love
Oh, it's going beautiful. Even though every day I'm like, oh my God, have I done the right decision?
it. Scary.
Yes, it is. Because like I used to have a dream job, let's say, like for Brazilians at least, because like you have to make a test, it's really hard. And but then you start working for the government. And then you have a good salary, but you're stuck there forever because it's a lifetime job. And at some point you're like, okay, this is meaningless. Like
It's hard.
yeah, it's just paperwork and you're not allowed to think and do some change and blah blah blah. But it was good for me. Actually, it was awesome. I had to go there and do that. I met many amazing people. I got in touch with the government, and I understood a little bit more about how things go and how maybe distorted it is. And it assisted me on grounding more of who I am. And actually, I had the best boss ever. She was like my psychologist, and I was hers. And it was like we kept like helping each other the whole time. So it was awesome.
Oh, that's beautiful. You probably miss her.
Oh, yes, I do, but I still meet her. So,
Oh, good. Oh, that's so sweet. You still live in the same area?
well, I am here now, but
Mhm.
I've been traveling since December. Earth has been asking me to go to some places, and I go, stay there for a little while, do some energy work, connect to some people, connect to some spiritual groups, and then I disconnect and learn through them, and then I get back to my ways. And this is beautiful because it seems like we're simply flowing through the people that we know in many timelines, and we just like bringing the pieces together into the now, and like bringing the distortions back into alignment, into the essence, of who we truly are. And actually, adding a little bit to the Egyptian thing, uh, because Israel and Palestine have this thing right now, right? And actually, it's all about that. Like the whole world, the whole mass world, it's all about that. We've been repeating that forever,
Over and over and
for
over and over and over.
over and over
The
and
same
over,
story.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that this past month, May, was when the galactic energetics about this, and also the all the distortions about this that happened, that happens, was coming back to the initial point. So we have started a new phase now, where we are not submitted anymore to the ancient gods or entities or whatever. Like we are on our own. You see, and that's actually beautiful. That's what I call sovereignty. Like now, we have really free will. Finally, free will is free.
Yeah. So do you see that taking shape and taking hold after this, big pandemic has taken hold of the world in fear and terror, and everyone's going to die and the world is over, and I feel like it's a big part of finding that sovereignty, and who are you going to follow, who are you going to listen to? Um I don't know, what have you had any information given to you or seen anything about how that's shaping in your world or in the world?
I think there are infinite possibilities for it to happen, and each one is going to tap into one of them. So I really don't know.
Mhm.
It's like you know how I feel like? I feel like a prophet who cannot say what actually is going to be, because that's how it goes, you know, because it's always potentials. So we can go through any of the potentials, and the collective will decide which way the world will go. But actually, the world is many, and we can never know. But collectively, if we keep tapping into everything that is going on, we'll be a laboratory for all of us, because we are evolving together. And every time that we tap into what is going on without neglecting, because I don't think like evolving is like, oh, I'm not in duality anymore, so I don't tap into these things and blah blah blah. Okay, okay. I know some people who do that. But well,
Well, it's all on this planet. Sorry, you can't dismiss it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's about here. It's about
Yeah.
here. And like we have to find our way to kind of assist, but like just assist by being ourselves, like finding out inside ourselves what is going on collective that we are feeding or not. It's like taking the guns out of the war and putting severity into your creation of your life, to the creation of your life. But that doesn't mean you're going to simply, okay, world, get out. That's not it. That's not about that. It's like immersing you into the world, and but at the same time, don't be dragged by the energies that are still inversed. It's learning with these energies that maybe there's something in you that is maybe still inversed, right? And yet choose different,
Yeah,
because we are free now.
exactly. It's kind of like I like that the wolf analogy where it's like, you have all the different kinds of wild wolves inside you. Are you going to feed the one that's going to go terrorize the village, or are you going to feed the one that's going to take care of the clan? Like they're all inside of you. They're all part of the clan. You can engage in any wild wolf way you want, that's just your choice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Power, you know?
yeah, yeah. And any choice you make is okay.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
who
your
is here to say you're wrong?
yeah, for or what we come here to play
Yeah,
and to experience and
yeah. So let's play.
let's keep playing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's keep playing. Well, I don't know if I have any more questions. Is there anything you want to specifically say or add or um, anything at all?
Mm, it's interesting. This is an interesting question for me, because, like, I feel that this is what is always coming through me, that uh, what we are about to activate within ourselves is sovereignty, right? So when we consider everyone sovereign as we are, we don't need to keep giving tips about what to do, how to do. Oh, you have to do this in your life, you have to do that in your life, blah, blah, blah. And say, okay, there are no books anymore about how to behave. Now you are free to choose how we're going to behave.
Mm.
You can choose something and self punish you, or you can choose something and learn through it. But it's always a choice, and there's no right and wrong in these terms. You see, so I don't feel inclined to like say something better than that. Like so, like be free, be sovereign, and be responsible for your choices. Any of them is okay.
Good advice. Yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, you want advice? Yeah, I don't have an advice. Just be yourself. Like,
Just do your thing. Do you?
yeah, it's like that thing. I'm not your guru. Come on.
That's a hard one. It's a hard title to hold.
Yeah.
I'll pass. I fuck up way too much, okay? You don't wanna follow me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please don't.
Honey, go make your own mistakes. I don't wanna be responsible for yours too.
I have mine to deal with, right?
True. Well, my goodness, I hope one day we can meet in each other's land because you are just
Oh
a
yes.
phenomenal soul. And I'm just honored
Oh,
to talk to you and to get to share this time with you. And I thank you so
oh,
much for being my
thank
friend and
you.
playing and doing whatever and being here. It took us a long time to finally have our divine timing meet, but it's perfect.
Yes. Thank you for having me here. I really
Oh,
like talking to you. I really like your energy. You know that we've already got that room. And one day we're gonna dance on the desert and in the Brazilian jungles.
I can't wait.
Yay.
Can't wait. Well, have the most beautiful day, and we will post all your information. So if anybody wants to get a session, now in your sessions, I believe you mentioned you do a drawing. I still have to get mine from you. I have been saying I want to do mine. So I still
It's
want to do
not,
that.
well, there are, it's actually two kind of things. Like
Okay.
the online session, I don't do the drawing. Like I flow the energy and I flow the light goes through the body. I connect the elements of the body and like balance them through the sounds, to the light language in with my throat, with my voice, right? And with the movements of the hand and blah blah blah, all the things.
Got it.
But there's also the option. Some people don't want to have sessions, right? But and there's also the option that I will draw the light code, and the energy work will be done as I draw. And after I draw, I write a message about what is go about what is coming in, what is coming out, what is working, what is not, and that's it. So it's two different things. There's an online session,
Okay,
and
okay.
there is the personalized drawing. It's personalized, but it's not only for the person. I always like to tell it to everyone because like it's like a DNA connection. It's a DNA vibration. So it's personalized because for you that's what you need at that moment, but that's for everyone, as everything is.
Got it. Wonderful. Well, I definitely want to get one and hang it up in my office. So then when I'm talking, your magic is
Oh,
perfect. We'll get that.
perfect.
Well, I am going to say bye and thank you. How do you say obrigado? Is that thank you? Yeah,
Obrigado.
obrigado in
Yeah.
Portuguese. I only know like a tiny bit, and it was Portugal Portuguese. So I know
Yeah.
Il Te Amo.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And then
I
the
love
other
the
one
accent.
is Niña, Pequenininha, Juninha. That's it. That's all I got.
That's cute.
Isn't that like my little ladybug or something?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Exactly.
my extent of Portuguese for you.
E a pequena Joaninha.
Juninha, that's so cute. I love it. All right, my dear. Enjoy. I love you so much.
Love you
And
too, sister.